Hello everybody, welcome back. Today's video is going to be a fun one. We are going to be putting two of my favorite brands head to head, but not in a sense where they're going to be competing against one another. This is not a fight. Rather, it's more about how these brands are going to actually come together. I've done it with M Cosmetics and Rare Beauty and Merit and Rose Inc. And today we are going to be doing Kosas and Tower 28. I feel that Kosas and Tower 28 are so similar to one another. I feel like they're really interchangeable. The products, their aesthetics, their ethos, they're both really all about that clean, minimalist, easygoing makeup look. They're not your full glam makeup brand. This isn't really so much about putting them head to head, but I will be talking about the products, comparing them, telling you my preferences because I am very familiar with both of these brands and I do have a lot of experience with a lot of these products, but I do also have new products from both of the brands, which I'll be trying for the first time today too. So there's really gonna be a bit of everything in today's video and I hope you guys are gonna enjoy. Don't forget to let me know your thoughts in the comments on both of these brands, on all the products that I'm gonna be talking about today. What are some of your favorites? What are some of your least favorites? What other brands would you like to see me put head to head in this type of video? And hit the thumbs up button if you do enjoy these types of videos. It really does help me out just to let me know to do more of them, and subscribe if you want to see more from me. So without further ado, let's zoom in and get started. So to prep the skin, we are going to be going in with the product from Kosas as our first product. This is actually a product that I haven't yet tried. It's been sitting in my collection for a while, just waiting for me to try it. It is the Plump and Juicy Vegan Collagen Spray-On Serum. This sounds like a really interesting product. I personally haven't really seen anything quite like this on the market. Let me know if you guys know of any products that are similar to this. So this is obviously a skincare product from the brand and it's really meant to plump and hydrate the skin. There are peptides in here, there's collagen, there's hyaluronic acid, and I'm so curious to see how this is going to feel and how it's going to sit underneath the foundation. So let's just see first what this is going to feel like and how the spray sprays. Oh, it's a very fine mist. Because the mist is so fine, I don't really feel like I have to go in and rub it on my face, which is what I expected I would have to do with a product like this, but this really does not feel serumy or oily at all. It almost just feels like a water. Obviously this is a skincare product, so I can't tell you how effective this is after just one use, but I really wanted to try it out anyway, and I was really more so just curious to see what the texture would feel like, and it's the complete opposite of what I expected. Before I move on to the foundation, I actually want to very quickly test out the new Kosas Glow IV, which is the newest product that they recently launched. This is the vitamin infused skin enhancer. So this is a product that you either mix in with your foundation to add a glow, or you can use it on its own for more of a targeted highlighter effect. And I'm really curious to first swatch this product to see kind of what it looks like, what it's all about, if there's shimmer to it, because that will definitely determine whether or not I'm gonna wanna mix it in with the foundation, because I'm telling you right now, if there's shimmer, this is not gonna be mixed in with my foundation and I'll just use it as a highlighter, but we will see. They do have 10 different shades in this. I ended up getting the shade Spark, which is the Sheer Light Champagne. I believe this is the second lightest shade. So let's swatch it and see what it looks like. This is far more intense than I thought it would be. It actually looks pretty metallic and there's definitely shimmer in here. This is not really a product that I would be so inclined to mix into my foundation purely because of that shimmer, and because it has such a metallic sheen. I just worry that it would really accentuate texture on my skin, and I also just don't want shimmer all over my face. So this would be more of a product that I would use more targeted as an actual highlighter, but that really is just my own personal preference. So I'm just gonna put this aside and we will come back to it when it's time to apply highlighter. So for the foundation, I'm a little bit unsure of which brand I wanna go to, and I'm still undecided. I have the Kosas Revealer Skin Improving Foundation and then the Tower 28 Sunny Days Lightweight Foundation. If you're familiar with my channel, then you probably already know my thoughts on both of these products. I actually am not the biggest fan of the Sunny Days foundation from Tower 28, and I really, really love the Kosas Revealer Skin Improving Foundation. They're both very different products. Sunny Days is more of a skin tint, so it's very lightweight, has very little coverage, and the Kosas Revealer is more of a medium to full coverage foundation, and I love this stuff. It is absolutely beautiful. It works great for my dry skin, and I honestly haven't had the best experiences with the Tower 28 Sunny Days. In the past, I've found that it's broken up on my skin a little bit and has accentuated my dry patches. So because of that, I just haven't really been so inclined to go back to it and try it out more, because I just decided that it didn't work for me, and so I kind of just forgot about it. But I haven't tried it in a really long time, and I'm just curious to see how it's going to perform on my skin. I'm just wondering if maybe, you know, my mind will change. This could be a huge fail and I may regret it completely, but it's okay. We're gonna find out together. So I'm using the shade number 20. And like I said, this is a skin tint, so it's super lightweight and kind of serum-like in texture. And I do like to apply these types of foundations with my fingers just because I feel like I'm really able to work into my skin. And if I use a sponge, it kind of soaks it all up and it defeats the purpose of the product because it actually doesn't really apply much. So I'm just gonna use my fingers, and that shade match is actually spot on. So I will say right off the bat, this is applying nicely, especially with that Kosas serum underneath. I feel like my skin feels really nice and pillowy right now. I am though gonna take my sponge and just kind of go over my face just to make sure everything is actually blended into my skin properly. And right now it's actually looking pretty good. I will say the only area that I'm noticing that is causing a bit of concern right now is on my nose. It is breaking up slightly and not really playing nice with the dry patches that I have over there. I'm just gonna apply a little bit more and see if that does anything. Okay, so in this very moment, it's not looking bad. I mean, it looks fine on my skin. It's not breaking up anywhere. For a skin tint, it is covering nicely. My redness is pretty much gone, but you still see a lot of my natural skin texture through. It doesn't really look heavier like I'm wearing much, but I'm a little bit nervous. I'm nervous to see if this is going to turn in any way, if it's going to look drier in the next couple of hours, or if it's gonna stay like this. Maybe my mind will change on this product. We'll see. Future Jamie here. Spoiler alert, my mind did not change. I did wear the skin tint for the rest of the day, and unfortunately by the end of the day, my skin was just not looking so good. It was looking very dry. I was actually shocked at how much it settled in the fine lines on my face, which is something that very rarely happens to me with skin tints or foundation. So I was really surprised to see that. It's unfortunate because it looked really nice for the first couple of hours, but that last stretch, it took a turn, and it was a turn for the worse. Okay, so now we're gonna move on to concealer. Of course, I'm gonna be using the Revealer Concealer. This is, I feel, probably the star product from Kosas. It's also the product that really made Kosas go a little bit viral when Hailey Bieber used it and said that it was one of her favorite products. It's definitely one of my favorite products from the brand, and it's one of my favorite everyday concealers. It's very hydrating, and it's actually described by Kosas as a concealer that meets an eye cream because there are some nice skincare benefits in here. There's caffeine, hyaluronic acid, peptides. For me, it's not really something that actually replaces my eye cream. I do still like to use an eye cream when I want that boost of moisture underneath my eyes. But what I like about the skincare ingredients that are in here is that it just makes the concealer really dewy and hydrating and not dry. And it just keeps your under eyes looking plump. The one thing that bothers me about this concealer isn't the shade range, because they actually have quite a few shades in this lineup, but the tones of the shades. I do find that the tones can be a little bit off and lean pretty yellow. They did improve slightly when they did recently, or not recently, but more recently expand their range, and they added a lot of different like in-between shades with different tones. I feel like they're a little bit better, but it's still not perfect. So that's something that I personally just kind of wish was a little bit different, because I do prefer a concealer that's very neutral. But I use the shade 3.2, which is a good match, but it's just a little bit too yellow for my liking. Like, I wish it was just a little bit more neutral. So I'm just gonna apply some right in these two spots underneath my eyes. It does have pretty good coverage. It's about a medium coverage. I find it's just enough for every day. So now moving on to one of my favorite products from Kosas. It's the Kosas Cloud Set. It's their setting powder. Tower 28 actually doesn't even have a setting powder. And let's be real, even if Tower 28 did have a setting powder, I would still use the Kosas Cloud Set just because it is by far my favorite product from the brand, and probably one of my top 5 products just in general in my makeup collection, which is a huge statement, but it's the truth. I have a history of just not loving setting powders just in general because my skin is so dry. A lot of setting powders will just make my skin look drier. They'll accentuate the dryness. It's just never a good look. And this powder is just a dream for me because it is so lightweight. It has a bit of a harder pan, so you're gonna be picking up a very small amount of product, and the product itself is incredibly finely milled. So when this is applied to the skin, it basically just melts away and it doesn't even look like it's there. So you get no powdery finish. It's not even just that this is a not powdery powder that you don't really see on the face, because that's nice, but this kind of takes it to the next level because it does have this blurring effect. Typically, I only find that I get that super airbrush look with heavier loose powders. So because you guys have seen me use this a billion times, I actually wanted to try a new application method that I've never used with this product, and that's using a puff. This one is from Huda Beauty. It kind of looks like a little pizza slice. And a puff is nice when you want more of like a flawless look to your powder because you're really gonna be able to press it into the skin. I don't really use it so much with a pressed powder, so I'm just really curious to see how this is going to look, if it's gonna give me even more of a flawless effect. So I'm just gonna pick up some of the product with the puff, and I'm pressing it onto the skin by very lightly rolling it. You don't wanna swipe, you wanna just do this nice little pressing motion. I'm actually gonna do one side so you guys can see the difference, because where my pores go, I don't know. Here's hoping the camera actually picks up the difference here, but here's the side with the powder, here's the side without the powder. I mean, I'm looking at myself in the mirror right now and my pores on this side look like they're just gone. And what I also really appreciate about this powder is that it does not get rid of the glow completely. Because it is so finely milled, it doesn't really like mattify the face. So if you still want to keep the glow, but you want to set your face, this is a great powder to do it because it's going to allow that glow to still come through. So now let's move on to bronzer. Now we're going to move back to a Tower 28 product. This is the newest product they very recently released. It's called the Sculptino Soft Contour Cream. I am so excited that Tower 28 finally came out with a matte bronzing cream. The other cream bronzer that Tower 28 has in their collection is the Bronzino, which I have a very up and down relationship with. Sometimes I really love this product and sometimes I really do not like it. This is one of the only cream bronzers that I have in my collection and that I've just seen in general that has a glowy metallic finish. And it's just really not my favorite type of formula because the Tower 28 creams are really wet. They are very emollient. They are slippy and slidey, okay? Like these are not dry creams at all. And really wet creams have pros and cons to them. The pros is that they're super easy to work with, super easy to blend. They have this really nice sheen to them, of course. The cons, however, first of all, they don't really last as long, unfortunately, because they are a little bit more of like a wetter formula. So they tend to kind of slip and slide on the face and they don't fully set down. Anything that has more of a glow will also accentuate texture. Add a little bit of a metallic sheen and you have texture city. I don't really love this all over my face. I sometimes like to apply it only on key areas of my face, like just right on the tops of my cheekbones, layered with another matte cream bronzer, just to add a little bit of a glow. And I find that that's a really beautiful way to use this product, but I don't like using it as like my dedicated bronzer. I feel like it's a little bit too much for me. There are 4 shades in the collection and I got the second shade, which is called Getty. As far as the shade goes, it looks really nice and neutral, which is what I prefer for my bronzers. The texture actually feels kind of different compared to the blushes. The blushes can sometimes feel a little bit thick. When you touch it, you can almost like move the product around and it's just like a thick balm. This feels like a thin balm. I'm just going to dot it on my cheeks and blend it out with my sponge. I can honestly probably get away with blending this with my finger because it's such a wet formula. I can see that it's blending super easily. So let's actually try to do that first. And that is something that I do really appreciate about the Tower 28 creams. They are so easy to work with. Definitely very sheer, but it's buildable. When I first applied it, in my head, I was like, oh God, this is reminding me of the Merit bronzer, which I really am not the biggest fan of because it's super sheer, barely builds up, and it just really doesn't do much. This is actually building up to be a really nice wash of color. You know what this actually reminds me of, guys? The Tom Ford cream bronzer. This is also a very balmy bronzer. This applies in a very similar way. I feel like the Tom Ford one is actually even a little bit balmier. So I kind of like this finish a little bit more because I feel like this isn't going to slip around as much as maybe I thought it would. I was a little bit worried just knowing the Tower 28 formulas. Let's move on now to blush. I'm also going to be using a Tower 28 blush here and I have so many colors here. I don't even know which one I'm going to choose. I'm thinking we could probably mix like 2 colors just for funsies. The Tower 28 blushes are really beautiful. I mean, I basically just described the formula so you guys get the gist of it. So they will fade a little bit quicker than a drier blush, but they are beautiful to apply and they come in some really gorgeous colors. And honestly, like the fading part doesn't really bother me that much. If I am going for like a really long wearing look, I wouldn't really go for a cream on its own anyway. I would just layer a little bit of a powder on top to like lock it in. But I do know that that is a factor that a lot of people really care about. So I figured I would mention that. You see what I mean about these being so creamy? Like when I touch the blush, it's almost like they melt on the spot and you could like move the product around. And they're super, super pigmented. So that's the one thing that I would say you have to be a little bit careful about. This color is one of my favorites. It's Happy Hour and it's like the most perfect strawberry pink. This one called Power Hour is so beautiful. It looks a little bit more boring compared to a lot of the other ones, but it kind of gives this like berry neutral tone to the cheeks. And Rush Hour is another one of my favorites. This is more of a corally orange shade. So I'm gonna go in with Power Hour. I'm gonna use my sponge and just lightly tap a little bit of this more on like the cheekbone area. I'm actually gonna flip the sponge over so that it's on the clean side and use that clean side to blend. So I don't wanna over apply. It just gives you that perfectly flushed look without being too red, too coral. It's just beautiful. To add a little bit more color though, I'm gonna go into Happy Hour. Sometimes with these, especially the more intense colors, I like to put it on the back of my hand. That way I'm able to control the amount of color a little bit better. Otherwise, I get a happy surprise when I go in to apply it to my cheeks. These two together are so beautiful. We're definitely going for a very blushy look today. Okay, now it's finally time to go back to the Kosas Glow IV Vitamin Infused Skin Enhancer. So, like I said, I'm a little bit disappointed with the finish of this. I kind of wish it was slightly less metallic and that it didn't have any shimmer, because I feel like that would have made this product, for me at least, with my own personal preferences, more of a versatile product. That way I would have felt more comfortable kind of mixing it in with my foundation when I want more of a glowier look without having to worry that it's going to make my foundation like too metallic or too sparkly. But let's see how it looks just as a pinpointed highlighter. The texture is really nice. It does feel serumy. It's not super thick or creamy. Ooh. Oh. Oh, wait. I really like this as a highlighter. Oh, yeah. Oh, yes. 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 But now that I see this as a highlighter, I genuinely could not see myself putting this in my foundation all over my face, because this is very glowy. Like, I would be disco ball status. But wow, as a cheek highlighter, this is sorry, I got a little bit excited. I like swallowed too much air. This is a big yes for me for a cheek highlighter. For the brows, I'm gonna use the Kosas Air Brow and the Brow Pop, and in both of these, I'm using the shade Auburn. So first with the Brow Pop, which is their pencil, I'm just going to very lightly fill in, because I don't naturally have auburn hair. My brows are very cool tone, so I like to add a little bit of warmth to my brows with the Auburn Brow Pencil, and the tinted brow gel does help quite a bit. I do really like the Kosas brow products. I would say that the brow pencil is my second favorite after the Benefit Precisely My Brow Pencil, which is my first favorite brow pencil. I really like the color of it, especially this auburn color just works really well with my new hair color. It's a bit more of like a waxier pencil, so I find that it lasts nicely. Now I'm gonna go in with my Air Brow in Auburn, and this is definitely one of my most used brow products. It doesn't give my brows too much tint and color where they look, you know, really intense, but they give just enough where I'm actually able to use this and not anything else, and it feels like my brows are set and filled in. The hold on this brow gel is also good. It doesn't have the most hold that I've tried, but it holds well enough for my brows. And just overall, it's just a great everyday brow gel. Now we're gonna talk about one of my biggest heartbreaks and disappointments from Kosas, and that's these liquid eyeshadows. Kosas had a liquid eyeshadow called Globe that was truly one of the most beautiful eyeshadows that's ever existed. It was a liquid eyeshadow that had the most beautiful golden bronze shimmer, and it looked heavenly on the eyes. They discontinued it, and then they came out with these guys, which were supposed to be the new and improved version of their liquid shadows. They ruined Globe for me. This color, which is Blaze, was supposed to be the equivalent to Globe, and I just would like to put it on record that they are not even close to being the same. What made Globe so special was that it was so multidimensional and shimmery. This is basically just a metallic liquid shadow. So it just looks like a metallic bronze on the lid. And I have like 30 liquid eyeshadows in my collection that look exactly like this. So I just don't feel like it's really anything special, which makes me very, very sad. On top of that, I just don't feel like this is really the best liquid eyeshadow formula. It's fine, but I actually feel like it feels pretty heavy on the lids. And honestly, I wouldn't have used them in today's video, but there's no other eye product that either of these brands have. So I had no choice. We're gonna have to go with it. So I am going to use the shade Simmer, which is this really nice looking champagne color, and I'm just gonna put it all over my lid and call it a day. And listen, like this, it's nice. Gives me a nice glowy, shimmery look, but I don't think it's really the standout product from the brand. I think there's so many other products that if you were looking at this brand and you were like, okay, I want something from here, I don't know what to get, and you were looking at the liquid eyeshadows and wondering if that should be the purchase, I would say nope, that shouldn't be the purchase. The Tower 28 Make Waves Mascara. This very, 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 very quickly rose to my top 3 favorite mascaras that I've ever tried. Right now, honestly, it's in the #1 spot. This does everything that I've ever wanted in a mascara. It lengthens, it gives me volume, it curls, it does not smudge, it separates the lashes, especially being a clean formula. A lot of clean mascaras really don't perform very well. Some of them will make your lashes look great, but then they'll smudge all over the place. This actually does not go anywhere. It's having quite the moment right now, and I think it's like just always out of stock because it's so popular at the moment. And honestly, I understand it. I understand why. It's just that good. And I'm praying and hoping that they come out with a nice, deep, rich chocolate brown version because I would buy the shit out of that. So that's all I have to say about that. It's incredible, and I'm going to put it on without curling my lashes so you can see how great it curls on its own. What? What is that? What is that? Fantastic. One of the best products that Tower 28 has come out with by far. Now let's move on to lips, and we are going to be using some lip products from Tower 28. I actually just received these in PR not too long ago, which got me pretty excited because I haven't tried them on yet. They are the new Juice Bomb Tinted Lip Balms. So let's swatch all 4 and just see what they look like. So let's first start with this pink guy. This one is called Shake. This is nice. It's not as like juicy as I was expecting it would be. It is called the Juice Bomb, so I really thought that this was going to be ultra juicy, ultra glossy, but it's just giving me light shine. Slightly disappointing, I'm not gonna lie. I kind of wanted a little bit more from this. It feels really good. It feels very lightweight and balmy. Feels like a tinted lip balm. Let's see this orange one. This one is called Squeeze. Ooh, this is a fun color. Ooh, pigmented. That is far more pigmented than I would have ever expected. This looks like a full-on lipstick. I think this is gonna be a gorgeous color to wear in the spring and summertime. Let's try this guy. This is Drink. This is pretty. When I see a product called Tinted Lip Balm, I expect a whisper of color. This is a scream. And this is definitely a color that you can sheer out if you wanted to. You can just kind of like dot it on and then blend it out with your finger. Get more of a wash of color, slightly more wearable. Pretty. Let's try this guy, which is called Mix. Oh, this one's barely showing up. Very, very peachy nude. It's kind of not really showing up. I don't love that. These are nice, but they're not my favorite lip products that Tower 28 has, especially because they have the Shine On Lip Jellies in their collection, which are one of my favorite lip glosses. Just in general, this formula is incredible. It is so beautiful. I feel like these glosses outshine these tinted lip balms by a landslide. I really wish that there was more shine in this formula and actually a little bit less pigment to make it like more of a true tinted lip balm. So at least I got to show you guys what they look like. So instead, I think I'm going to showcase the Shine On Lip Jelly instead because they are unreal. And I'm gonna line my lips with the Tower 28 one-liners. These are 2 of my favorite shades. We have Fill Me In, which is the lighter pink, and Draw Me, which is the brown. The pinkier one is a really nice mauve-y pink. So I do like this on no makeup days. I fill my lips in with this completely just to almost enhance my natural lip color. And I really like this brown color. It's a true like chocolate brown. It looks pretty intense, but when I apply it, I tend to blend it with my finger so it's a little bit softer, and it just gives a really great contoured effect. So I'm going to use the brown one today. So you can see when it's applied, it applies pretty full on, but I'm gonna take my finger and just blend a bit. into my lip. And then for the gloss, I'm gonna use the shade Almond, which is a beautiful, very neutral brown. These glosses are everything though. They really are. They are so glossy. The texture is divine. They're very gel-like and lightweight. So there's no tackiness, no stickiness. They feel super comfy. They're just really everything you would want in a gloss. They're perfect. Oh, we're done. That's actually everything. Those are all the products from Kosas and Tower 28, and this is the finished look. What do you guys think? I really, really like the way this look turned out. I'm actually most surprised with how my base is looking right now. My base is looking fab. Let's finish this off with some last minute thoughts. Let's talk about the products that I'm most excited about from both brands and most disappointed in from both brands. Probably the ones that I'm most excited about would have to be the Kosas Glow IV and then the Tower 28 Sculptino. These are two of the newest products that I tried today for the first time. I'm obviously excited about them because they are brand new to me and they are looking beautiful. I'm loving this highlighter. I can see myself using this a ton. Absolutely stunning, and I really like this bronzer. I really like how it applied and how it really melted into the skin. My two most disappointing products that I tried today from Tower 28 would definitely have to be the tinted lip balms, unfortunately. I'm not so excited about these. I just feel like they could have been better. And then my most disappointing product from Kosas would have to be the liquid eyeshadows. I'm still bitter about that. But overall, I feel like both of these brands melted together so seamlessly and all the products really did complement one another. And overall, I'm really, really happy with the look. I think everything looks awesome. So I hope that you guys enjoyed today's video. Don't forget to let me know all of your thoughts on everything that I used today in the comments and all of your thoughts on the brands in general. And don't forget to also let me know what brands you'd like to see me put head to head next. And as always, hit the thumbs up button if you did enjoy and subscribe if you're not subscribed already. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.